Hello, hello. I don't want to say happy Halloween, but glorified God. Don't be part of the flesh. Live for the Spirit. Watch yourself. Be careful. Sin, temptation, lurking everywhere. Be strong, be with God. Exodus chapter 21. Pretty flying through this. Over halfway. Exodus 21. Now these are the ordinances which you are to set before them, before the Israelites. If you buy a Hebrew slave, he shall serve for 6 years, but on the 7th he shall leave as a free man without a payment to you. If he comes alone, he shall leave alone. If he is the husband of a wife, then his wife shall leave with him. If his master gives him a wife, and she bears him sons or daughters, the wife and her children shall belong to her master, and he shall leave alone. But if the slave plainly says, I love my master, my wife, and my children, I will not leave as a free man. Then his master shall bring him to God. Then he shall bring him to the door or the doorpost, and his master shall pierce his ear with an awl, and he shall serve him permanently. Now if a man sells his daughter as a female slave, she is not to go free, as the male slaves do. If she is displeasing in the eyes of her master, who designated her for himself, then he shall let her be redeemed. He does not have authority to sell her to a foreign people because of his unfairness to her. And if he designates her for his son, he shall deal with her according to the custom of daughters. If he takes to himself another woman, he may not reduce her food, her clothing, or her conjugal rights. But if he will not do these 3 things for her, then she shall go free for nothing, without payment of money. He who strikes someone so that he dies shall certainly be put to death. If he did not lie in wait for him, but God caused him to fall into his hand, then I will appoint you a place to which he may flee. Manslaughter, pretty much, If you accidentally kill somebody, then God will not punish you, give you a place to go. If, however, someone is enraged against his neighbor so as to kill him in a cunning way, you are to take him even from my altar to be put to death. And one who strikes his father or his mother shall certainly be put to death. Now one who kidnaps someone, whether he sells him or he is found in his possession, shall certainly be put to death. And one who curses his father or his mother shall certainly be put to death. Now if people have a quarrel, and one strikes the other with a stone or with a fist, and he does not die, but is confined to bed, if he gets up and walks around outside on his staff, then he who struck him shall go unpunished. He shall only pay for his loss of time, and he shall pay for his care until he is completely healed. And if someone strikes his male or female slave with a rod, and the slave dies at his hand, he shall be punished. If, however, the slave survives a day or 2, no vengeance shall be taken, for the slave is his property. Now if people struggle with each other and strike a pregnant woman, this is important for our days. Now if people struggle with each other and strike a pregnant woman, so that she gives birth prematurely, but there is no injury, the guilty person shall certainly be fined, as the woman's husband may demand of him, and he shall pay as the judges decide. But if there is any further injury, then you shall appoint as a penalty for life, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, foot for foot, burn for burn, wound for wound, bruise for bruise. See, this is what's so hard to understand, because it says, who is it really talking about in the context of who's getting hurt? Is the woman getting hurt, or is the embryo getting hurt? It doesn't clarify, and that's what is so difficult about abortion and Christianity, because they want to demand that it's murder, but that's not right. They're using God's wrath to judge people and demand them to do something when if they need the abortion, I feel that it's okay. And Jesus will forgive them because he loves us and he gave us that choice. But it certainly doesn't say word for word in here. It's tough. So I feel like it's up to us to decide, and we can't make demands because we're not God. And if someone strikes the eye of his female or female slave and destroys it, he shall let the slave go free on account of the eye. And if he knocks out a tooth of his female or male slave, he shall let the slave go free on the account of the tooth. Now if an ox gores a man or a woman to death, the ox shall certainly be stoned, and its flesh shall not be eaten, but the owner of the ox shall go unpunished. If, however, an ox was previously in the habit of goring, and its owner has been warned, yet he does not confine it, and it kills a man or a woman, the ox shall be stoned, and its owner also shall be put to death. If a ransom is demanded of him, then he shall give for the redemption of his life whatever is demanded of him. Whether it gores a son or a daughter, it shall be done to him according to the same rule. If the ox gores a male or female slave, the owner shall give his or her master 30 shekels of silver, and the ox shall be stoned. Now if someone opens a pit or digs a pit and does not cover it, and an ox or donkey falls into it, the owner of the pit shall make restitution. He shall give money to its owner, and the dead animal shall become his. And if someone's ox injures another's ox so that it dies, then they shall sell the live ox and divide its proceeds equally. And they shall also divide the dead ox. Or if it is known that the ox was previously in the habit of goring, yet its owner has not confined it, he must make restitution of ox for ox, and the dead animal shall become his. He's just going over laws from back in biblical era, but a lot of it still needs to apply today. There needs to be more punishment, especially on cheating on your wife or husband. Back in the day, you do that, you get put to death. Now there's no punishment for that, and so everybody just does it willy-nilly because who cares? And there needs to be accountability for it, and maybe it would get better. Exodus 22. If someone steals an ox or a sheep and slaughters it or sells it, he shall pay 5 oxen for the ox and 4 sheep for the sheep. If the thief is caught while breaking in and is struck so that he dies, there will be no guilt for bloodshed on his account. If the sun has risen on him, there will be guilt for bloodshed on his account. A thief shall certainly make restitution. If he owns nothing, then he shall be sold for his theft. If what he stole is actually found alive in his possession, whether an ox or a donkey or a sheep, he shall pay double. If someone lets a field or vineyard be grazed bare and lets his animals loose so that it grazes in another person's field, he shall make restitution for the best of his own field and the best of his own vineyard. If a fire breaks out and spreads to thorn bushes and stacked grain, or the standing grain or the field itself is consumed, the one who started the fire must make restitution. If someone gives his neighbor money or goods to keep for him, and it is stolen from the neighbor's house, if the thief is caught, then the thief shall pay double. If the thief is not caught, then the owner of the house shall appear before the judges to determine whether he laid his hands on his neighbor's property. For every breach of trust, whether it is for ox, for donkey, for sheep, for clothing, or for any lost thing about which one says, "This is it," the cause of both parties shall come before the judges. He whom the judges condemn shall pay double to his neighbor. If someone gives his neighbor a donkey, an ox, a sheep, or any animal to keep for him, and it dies, or is injured, or is driven away while no one is looking, an oath before the Lord shall be taken by the 2 of them that he has not laid a hand on his neighbor's property, and its owner shall accept it, and he shall not be compelled to make restitution. But if it is actually stolen from him, he shall make restitution to its owner. If it is all torn to pieces, have him bring it as evidence. He shall not be compelled to make restitution for what has been torn to pieces. And if someone borrows an animal from his neighbor, and it is injured or dies while its owner is not with it, he shall make full restitution. If its owner is with it, the borrower shall not be compelled to make restitution. If it is hired, it came by its hire. If a man seduces a virgin who is not betrothed and sleeps with her, he must pay a dowry for her to be his wife. If her father absolutely refuses to give her to him, he shall pay money equal to the dowry for virgins. You shall not allow... Okay, let me just go over that real quick. If a woman is raped, now that's just ridiculous. You wouldn't have to marry him. But back in the day, if a woman was sexually assaulted, they're viewed as unclean and they will not be able to marry again. So that's why they are forced to marry. My wife's friend's right here. I honked at her, but she didn't say anything. Let me just clear that up. Now you should be punished for that. You shall not allow a sorcerer to live. Whoever has sexual intercourse with an animal must be put to death. He who sacrifices to any god other than the Lord alone shall be utterly destroyed. Don't do that. You just worship God. Don't be praying to rocks. Don't be looking at your tarot cards. Don't be looking for your horoscope sign. You shall not oppress a stranger nor torment him, for you were strangers in the land of Egypt. You shall not oppress any widow or orphan. If you oppress him at all, and if he does cry out to me, I will assuredly hear his cry. And my anger will be kindled, and I will kill you with the sword. And your wives shall become widows, and your children fatherless. If you lend money to my people, to the poor among you, you are not to act as a creditor to him. Don't brag about it. Don't even talk about it. You shall not charge him interest. If you ever seize your neighbor's cloak as a pledge, you are to return it to him before the sun sets. For that is his only covering. It is his cloak for his body. What else is he to sleep in? And it will come about that when he cries out to me, I will listen to him, for I am gracious. Treat people with kindness. You shall not curse God, nor curse a ruler of your people. That's tough to do, Lord, especially when they go against you. That's tough. You shall not hold back the offering from your entire harvest and your wine. The firstborn of your sons you shall give to me. You shall do the same with your oxen and your sheep. It shall be with its mother for 7 days. On the 8th day you shall give it to me. You shall be holy people to me. Therefore you shall not eat any flesh torn to pieces in the field. You shall throw it to the dogs. I'm at 12. No. Probably could have got through another one if I wasn't just yapping around over here, but I like to elaborate on some things. And talking about the sorcery and stuff, being Halloween. Catholics are sus. I understand that they created All Saints Day to negate Halloween in a way, to take people's minds off of spooky, unholy things, but they shouldn't have even acknowledged it, in my opinion. Catholics are. I don't understand. I don't understand. Be safe. I love you.